Tonight on News 22.
Marlene Barraza gets an education in water conservation.
Hundreds turn out to celebrate Earth Day and March for Science.
And NMSU celebrates Founders Day and looks to the future.
All that and more on News 22 Tuesday.
Serving southern New Mexico, this is the award-winning KRWG-TV News 22, where news matters.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Victoria Valderrama.
And I'm Javier Gutierrez. We begin tonight with the ongoing murder investigation from Monday evening. It happened on Athenian Way, just down the road from Hotel Encanto.
Police say 17-year-old Jovan Solomon was shot just before 7 p.m. on Monday. He was airlifted to University Medical Center in El Paso, where he died. Police say the shooting stemmed from a conflict between two different groups. Las Cruces Crime Stoppers is offering a reward for information. If you call, you can remain anonymous. A 19-year-old Las Cruces woman is in jail tonight. Police say she rammed her boyfriend's work truck. They charged Rosa Garcia with aggravated assault and battery. Police say Garcia was chasing the man in her car. They say in the 600 block of Colorado Street, she cornered the truck in a parking lot and rammed it with her Kia Soul. The crash disabled the truck. Garcia was arrested at her residence and booked without bond.
A pair of security guards is to thank for fighting off a drunken man who had a knife. Police say the security guards would not let the man enter into the Pecan Grill restaurant on Loman early Sunday morning because they suspected he was drunk. They say Renee McPherson drew a knife on the guards, and the guards pepper sprayed him. McPherson is now in the Doña Ana County Jail. His bond has not been set. The city of Albuquerque is remembering a civic leader that was killed in the Southwest Airlines freak accident last week. Jennifer Reardon was returning home when one of the engine jets blew up. Debris from the explosion broke near Reardon's seat. A coroner said Reardon died from blunt impact trauma of the head, neck, and torso. Southwest Airlines says she is the first person in the company's history to die from an in-flight incident. Reardon is survived by her husband and two children. Reardon was 43 years old.
So I definitely felt those warm temperatures on my way to class today.
Yeah, a little scorcher, kind of hot. Hopefully there's some relief in sight. Let's send it over to Selena with our first look at weather.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, it was very warm today. Right now we're looking at some clear skies, temperature at 87 degrees, so it's still pretty warm. Winds coming in from 4 miles per hour from the southwest. Humidity not too bad at 7%. Dew point at 15 degrees and a barometer at 29.76 inches. Now we reached a high today of 91 degrees. We were so close to breaking a record. Our average is 81. We woke up to an overnight low of 54 degrees. We set record temperatures in 2000 at 94 degrees and in 1991 at 35 degrees. We haven't seen any rain in the past 43 days, which means we're still in a drought, and our yearly rainfall still sits at 0.81 inches. That's all I have right now. I'll be back later with your national forecast.
On top of being in a desert, we're still in a drought. That means there are few places in the country more in need of water conservation. But as News 22's Marlene Barraza reports, conservation can still be hard to sell.
Every year, the Las Cruces Utility Company invites fourth graders to the Children's Water Festival. The festival gives them an opportunity to participate in hands-on activities, talk with experts, and do experiments to learn about water conservation.
You guys ready to learn something?
Water Conservation Program Coordinator Rhonda Diaz says it's important for this age group to learn about what water conservation is because it has a huge effect on the city.
Water conservation in general for the city is a tough task. There's a lot of people within the city or that have just recently come into the city that don't realize that we have a water conservation ordinance.
The ordinance says from April 1st to September 30th, you can't water your lawn every day. Even addresses water on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Odd addresses on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. And nobody can water on Monday. The restrictions always come in the summer.
It's like time of year when we can lose a lot of water through evaporation. And if we don't water the right time of day, and we want to be able to use our water wisely.
And there are simple ways to conserve water that may turn into good habits.
When washing your car, don't use a water hose. Use a bucket.
When you're done, use that same water to water your plants.
Other tips: water your plants sparingly, take showers rather than baths, and avoid running water when washing dishes.
I think the best way is to be informed. We all know we live in a desert, so what are some of the things we have to do? We've got our safety issues, but then we've got our resources, and one of them is water.
And Diaz encourages you to ask questions.
I love outreach. I love to, talk to people or answer questions that they have. So I can always be reached either at my office or email if anybody has additional questions.
She hopes the children will go back home excited, tell mom and dad what they learned, and help the world together as a family. I'm Marlene Barraza for News 22.
The mayor of Santa Fe apparently needs some water conservation lessons. He's under fire after reports surfaced that his personal water use was off the charts. Alan Weber's entire campaign was about reducing water consumption. Many people believe that's what won him the election. According to water documents, the mayor uses more than 8 times the average amount a single family in Santa Fe would. In a statement, Weber blamed the high water usage on aging irrigation systems that need to be replaced. Santa Fe is one of the 3 cities participating in the mayor's challenge to conserve water.
Recycling is another way to care for the earth, and the city is set to install some new recycle bins in various areas around Las Cruces. Installation will start tomorrow. No parks or trails will be closed during the installation of the recycling bins, which should be completed by the end of May. For information, call the City of Las Cruces Parks and Recreation Administration. The March for Science movement wound its way through downtown Las Cruces this weekend.
It was part of a nationwide movement where science advocates tried to have their voices heard. News 22's Jackie Lota has the story.
Science lovers of all ages filled downtown for the 2nd annual March for Science. There were many booths, activities, and even an essay contest. The march was a fun way to get people excited to learn about science.
I've always been a firm believer in the fact that kids are natural scientists. But by the time they get to be adults, they don't think science is important anymore.
Karen Ann Caldwell says it's important for people, especially kids, to understand that science is everywhere around us and it will never go away.
Science is so important, not just for the technology that we get, but also just for understanding nature and everything around us.
The first March for Science last year was a reaction to the Trump administration's denial of the science of climate change. Organizers say the president is trying to roll back decades of progress in protecting the environment. This second March is a way to keep environmental issues front and center.
Being part of these marches always feels great because it feels like you're a part of history. Like it feels like you're campaigning for something that's really important and you have the potential to make a really large change.
The people here at downtown aren't just marching for science, they're celebrating Earth Day. Science is a huge part in learning how the Earth functions. Without it, we wouldn't understand how the Earth works.
Because a big part of Earth Day is connecting yourself to what we know about the Earth and the science.
Yeah, so science is really supporting the Earth. It's trying to understand as much as we can about the Earth and protect it for future generations.
They say they will continue to speak out and may very well be back again next year as a part of the effort to protect the only planet we have. Jackie Loetta, News 22.
Another important point of the march is to get politicians to understand that science is important and needs to be funded. Well, stay tuned. Selena will be back with your national forecast.
But first, find out how NMSU celebrated its birthday this past weekend. More on that when News 22 continues.
At a recent KRWG coffee visit, we talked with KRWG fans about why they value public media.
The fact that you're here in TRC says a lot to me, that you're interested in our community.
KRWG is my major source of information and entertainment.
Please support public radio. If not for yourself, do it for me.
Become a member online at krwg.org or call 1-888-922-5794. Thank you.
This month in Passport, your on-demand library of the best of PBS.
I lift my heart. I can count on the fingers of one hand the people who have shaped my life.
These and other shows are available with Passport. Become a member of this PBS station, sign in, and start streaming today.
Welcome back. You're watching News 22 Tuesday,
where news matters.
It won't be long until we know the name of the person who will lead New Mexico State University into its next chapter.
While that decision makes a big difference for the future, last Friday the university looked back. I was there for the 4th annual Founders Day.
Founders Day comes around only once a year, and on this day, Aggies recognize those who contribute to the university. This year, the Pride Band got that special recognition.
Founders Day celebration. We've had a great year with President Carruthers. He's done so much for us, and we have our brand new uniforms coming, which are the first ones in 12 years, and so he wanted to take this opportunity to kind of show off what we do and who we are.
Among faculty and staff, Chancellor Gary Carruthers was honored for his many years of service. While Aggies gathered at the Treaters Plaza to celebrate the past, they also look forward to the future. After coming through some tough years, Assistant Professor Robert Ewing expects change is on the horizon.
I think a few years ago we had some budget issues, but I think it's better now, so I think there's a good time for change.
And Assistant Professor Juan Holguin says while change is needed, it may not satisfy everyone.
As the new Chancellor President is always what they call an agent of change, meaning it's very, very unlikely that things will stay the status quo. So in some ways, to be honest, in some ways they may get a little bit worse, but hopefully in more ways it'll be better.
Although many changes await NMSU, Carruthers will be missed.
He's been wonderful for the university. He's been wonderful for the bands. We wish him luck. We can't wait to see him again next fall. I'm sure he's going to be around, and we can't wait to celebrate him with our new uniforms when we get them.
I have enjoyed New Mexico State University and will continue to do so. As I tell many people, we've sailed this ship together through some stormy seas.
Victoria Valderrama, News 22.
Chancellor Gary Carruthers will be honored again this Friday. The College of Business will celebrate the contributions of alumni and industry during its annual Hall of Fame banquet. The banquet will honor Chancellor Carruthers and his wife along with Scott Williams of the class of 1975. Williams is an energy company executive and longtime volunteer for NMSU. The Hall of Fame was established in 1997 and honors outstanding alumni who have an impact on NMSU. The NMSU Model United Nations team is bringing back more hardware and awards. The team won at the UN conference in New York City this past March. Over 5,000 schools from around the U.S., Europe, and Asia participated at the conference. NMSU has earned top honors at the meeting in the last 12 years. NMSU's Model UN team has a total of 16 members in its delegation.
NMSU will be remembering the lives of former Aggies next Wednesday. The memorial ceremony will take place May 2nd at 2 p.m. at the Spiritual Center at NMSU's main campus located near the Duck Pond. Students, employees, and alumni who have passed away this past year will be remembered. This is the 6th year the ceremony has been conducted, and all are welcome. And we're going to take it over to Selena with our national look at weather.
Thanks, guys. Yes, we're actually going to take a look further down into the week. Our highs for Thursday, Seattle's looking like 80 degrees, Sacramento at 77, Los Angeles at 71, San Antonio at 81. On the other side, you're definitely going to see that New Orleans is at 77, Atlanta at 67, and Philadelphia at 68. Now, if you go ahead and take a look at our next map, you can see by midweek, this week, we're definitely going to be having a lot of stuff going on around the nation. We have 2 low pressure systems, one in the Pacific and one right here in Boston. Now, in Boston, it's right in the middle of the jet stream, which is causing lots of thunderstorms. We also have thunderstorms coming in from the Gulf all the way through Texas and into Arkansas. Now, there's still some warmth on the west part of the nation right where we are, but if you go ahead and take a look at our next map, going into May, we're actually going to be cooling down, especially here in Las Cruces, and we are going to be having some windy days next week, especially because we're right in the middle of that jet stream. Now, Texas and Arkansas are still going to be seeing some thunderstorms, but the east side is going to be looking a bit warmer. That's all I have for your national forecast. I'll be back after the break with some New Mexico temperatures.
Fresh Air with Terry Gross, weekday mornings at 11 on 90.7 FM and streaming live on KRWG.org.
In nature, playing by the rules doesn't always lead to success. To get ahead, some animals will engage in a variety of dirty tricks and dastardly deeds. Meet the planet's greatest rebels, the thieves, troublemakers, and shapeshifters who will stop at nothing to get a meal.
Wednesday at 7 p.m. on KRWG-TV.
The beauty of birds. But are they smart? Bird brains actually pack a lot of punch. Now, scientists put birds to the test. They're making plans and strategies, using tools, exploring the bird brain on Nova.
Wednesday at 9 p.m. on KRWG-TV.
Welcome back, everyone. We're going to look at temperatures around New Mexico right now. So we're looking at 78 degrees in Farmington, 63 degrees in Santa Fe, Albuquerque at 78, Ruidoso at 70, Roswell at 83, Las Cruces at 87, and Deming at 85. Tomorrow we're going to reach some highs of 74 degrees in Farmington, Santa Fe at 65, Clovis at 63, Ruidoso at 63 as well, Roswell at 64, Las Cruces at 80, and Deming at 80. So we're definitely going to be cooling down a bit tomorrow. Now, Alamogordo tonight is going to have some partly cloudy skies with a low of 53 degrees. Tomorrow, some clear skies with a high of 75 degrees. Truth or Consequences, some partly cloudy skies tonight as well with a low of 52 degrees. And some clear skies tomorrow with a high of 82 degrees. Silver City, some partly cloudy skies tonight going into tomorrow with a low of 48 degrees and a high of 75. And here in the city of Las Cruces, we have some clear skies tonight into tomorrow with a low of 55 degrees and a comfortable temperature of 80 degrees tomorrow. Now that's all I have right now for weather. Back to the desk for more news.
New details emerge about the man accused of opening fire at a Tennessee Waffle House.
That's the first story in tonight's Southwest Minute.
The man accused of killing 4 people and wounding several others on Sunday had a connection to the state of Colorado. Travis Ranking lived in Colorado for a few months. His former neighbors say he had mental problems. Police say he once claimed superstar Taylor Swift was stalking him. Police in Washington say he breached a White House security barrier last summer to meet President Trump. A house fire turned into an active shooter situation in Los Angeles today. Firefighters working to put out the fire dropped their gear and took cover. The SWAT team and Sheriff's Department also responded. Police say 1 woman was killed. Visitors waited hours Monday to catch a glimpse of what is probably the country's most famous plant right now. Corpse flowers bloom once every 7 to 10 years. This one in Tucson, Arizona, finally opened up. Corpse flowers usually smell like rotting flesh, but this one doesn't. Experts believe it may be too young to produce the offensive smell. I'm Zach Covert with today's Southwest Minute.
I hear there's some Aggie baseball and softball today in sports.
That there is, and sports always rocks when we have Nolan Fox, and he's next with News22 Sports.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Javi. Coming up in sports, I'll tell you what the men's golf team is up to in the WAC tournament. You can toss that remote because News22 Sports is next.
Next time on Call the Midwife.
I mean, it's just like the photo. It's perfect.
I'm in to get me cataract done. Ripe as a French fig and ready for slicing.
I could lose my children. I have no home. I have no means of making a living.
Why am I to stand by while you corrupt their young minds?
Phyllis! My friend, she's inside. Please help.
Thursday at 8 p.m. on KRWG-TV.
From Havana, Cuba, this is International Jazz Day. Host Will Smith joins Herbie Hancock, Quincy Jones, Chucho Valdez, Esperanza Spalding, Kurt Elling, Marcus Miller, and over 50 artists from around the world for a spectacular International Jazz Day global concert.
Friday at 9 p.m. on KRWG-TV.
This is KRWG-TV News 22 Sports.
Welcome back, and hold on to your socks because I'm Nolan Fox with News 22 Sports. Well, things are getting interesting in the WAC softball standings. Over the weekend, the Aggies lost 2 of 3 against Utah Valley. On Friday, they lost 9-7. Then on Saturday, the Aggies won the first game of the doubleheader 5-3. In Game 2 on Saturday, the Wolverines took the lead on the second inning on a home run by Madison Cisco. In the third, the Aggies tied it on a solo shot by Farron Glacken. Later, Nikki Butler lifts one to center field, and the Aggies took a 5-2 lead. Utah Valley wasn't quite done yet. Kara Morris ties it at the bottom of the sixth with a 2-run shot. Now, bottom 7 tied at 6. Kaylee Mott at the plate, and she wins it for Utah Valley with a walk-off single to right field. And Utah Valley comes all the way back to beat the Aggies 7-6. The Aggie baseball team is celebrating a series victory over the weekend. They won 2 of 3 against Northern Colorado Bears. They lost the first game on Friday 7-3, but they answered back, winning on Saturday 12-9 and on Sunday 6-3. Tomorrow they'll be in Tempe, Arizona for a midweek game against Arizona State. The WAC men's golf tournament is happening this week out in Kansas. After 2 days of play, the Aggies sit in 6th place. Today they shot at 299 as a team to drop into 6th. Yesterday they were at 5th place with a score of 291. With 1 day left, the Aggies are hoping to finish strong. And we're in the middle of the first round of the NBA playoffs, and teams are starting to get really competitive. Last night, things got a little bit chippy with the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Utah Jazz. You can see Russell Westbrook practically tackle Jay Crowder. As you can imagine, Crowder probably didn't like that very much and got all up in Westbrook's face. And guys started pushing each other, shoving each other, and Crowder actually elbows Steven Adams of the Thunder right in the face, right there. And Adams' nose probably wasn't feeling too great after that, and Crowder was tossed from the game. Utah went on to win 113-96. They lead that series 3-1. And that's all for sports tonight. Join us for more sports action tomorrow. Still ahead on News 22, Selena will be back with a look at your 5-day forecast. But first, just try and catch this long-legged athlete. Find out if this animal was put back in its pen when News 22 returns.
This week on the KRWG Music Spotlight. Music duo Soulshine.
Saturday at 10 p.m. on KRWG-TV.
Next time on Call the Midwife.
She's young and strong. She's a fighter, is our Barbara.
There's a local boy in there, same age as Tim. He troubles me.
I would gladly let the good Lord take me if he would spare her.
Sunday at 7 p.m. on KRWG-TV.
Let's go ahead and recap our top stories from this evening. The investigation continues into the murder of 17-year-old Javon Solomon. Solomon was believed to be in a shootout with another group when he was killed. Jackie Lora took us to the March for Science that was downtown this past weekend. It was an important way to raise awareness about the importance of fact-checking and evidence-based research and science. And Marlene Barraza showed us some helpful water conservation tips. The festival folks attended gave people a chance to talk with experts about the subject of water conservation.
A baby giraffe got loose from its exhibit at Fort Wayne Children's Zoo on her first day on public display. The giraffe made her way to a fenced parking lot on the zoo's property. It took about 2 hours for zookeepers to get her back into her enclosure. The zoo said in a statement, "In all 40-plus years of having giraffes here at the Fort Wayne Children's Zoo, nothing like this has ever happened before. But we will reevaluate our giraffe exhibit and take extra precautions to ensure the continued safety of our animals and staff."
How about that?
Right?
What if you're the guy who has to catch that giraffe? So.
I think that's a challenge.
Yeah, definitely.
100%.
Definitely.
Well, hopefully they have some nice weather to catch that big giraffe. I mean, we're going to have some nice weather here over the next couple of days.
We're going to have some nice weather, these next couple of days now, Wednesday to Sunday. Tomorrow we're dropping down to the to 80 degrees, I'm sorry. But then we're going to go back up on Thursday at 87 degrees, drop back down again on Friday at 75, go back up to the 80 Saturday, and back up on Sunday to 88 degrees. So we're coming back and forth with these next 5 days, but it's going to be comfortable, not as hot as it was today.
Well, that's good, and hopefully the good trend keeps up. For those of you over there at home, don't forget you can catch all of our today's aired stories and past newscasts on our YouTube page at youtube.com/KRWG News22.
And follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat for show updates and the latest on what the News 22 team is up to. And that's all for News 22 Tuesday. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight.
I'm Javier Gutierrez.
I'm Victoria Valderrama.
And I'm Selena Quintana. Good night.